Hello and welcome to the One About Podcast show where three friends get together and talk about a different topic each week. This week we're delving back into the world of comics with a deep and meaningful effort from Joe Kelly and J.M. Ken Nimura. This is the one about I Kill Giants. I'm your host, Ian. I also go by the Skull in places around the internet, and I am joined this week, as always, by Harry Jordan and Kovaleski John. What's going on this week, guys?
I'm Kovaleski. I feel good. I feel good about myself.
Am I hairy because the giant was hairy? Am I the giant?
The baseball player's name was Harry Kovaleski.
To be honest, this was the first. This was the first podcast I actually did not take notes.
Oh my god, Jordan!
I finished.
Man? You had one job.
I finished.
What are we gonna do for the Jordan's Notes segment?
I have the comic pulled up. I'll probably remember things, but no, I finished it like 5 minutes before I joined the stream.
Sounds about right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't want to. I didn't want to take longer, so I don't have notes for this one. That's why I didn't.
Because you wanted to get you your Rocket League salt.
Salt.
Hey, someone's got to mine it.
Oh shit!
I got orders.
Oh shit, man. Jordan, what have you been up to for the last week, man?
What did I do?
All right, John, what have you been up to for the last week, man?
Playing Rocket League with the children.
With the cheering.
With the cheering. Straight.
How's that going, man?
Straight fucking chaos, and you already know. Like legit. I
just want you to say it.
Yeah, like I gave you an option too. I was like, look, I'm about to play with the boys. Like you heard it in my voice. And it's like, so what are you saying? And I was like, I'm not saying you have to be here. Like it's your choice. And then you're just like, so I'm gonna blip. Endless Cola has left the party. It's like I couldn't even blame you.
I also left the game, shut off the PS5.
Just burned it. Not going back there.
Unplugged it, threw it in the garbage, wrapped it in foil and shit so nothing gets in or out.
Drilled a hole through the hard drive. Yeah, I mean it's good, and like thank God that you told me the fact that you can make a child account on the PlayStation.
I can't believe you were sharing your account with them for that long.
Bruh, I didn't know. I never, like, again, this is first time being a dad. It's like whatever, like, here, like, just fucking play all my shit. Just don't buy anything. It's fine. Like, I don't care. But it did get annoying. Like, they'd kick me off. Like, I want to play Tekken. It's like, another user is on your account. I was like, I just want to play Tekken. I don't need to be online for this. But lo and behold, it still makes my life difficult because one account setup was super easy. Took me 5 minutes. Everything was good to go. The other account setup, I'm still waiting for them to send me the email saying that the account isn't banned anymore so I can set it up.
What?
Yeah, so I'm not trying to take too much time, but I set up 2 child accounts, and one child account worked perfectly. The second child account is like, oh, this is suspicious activity. We got to ban this account automatically. And I was like, okay. That's fine. I mean, it's only a child account that doesn't have really any real power to use my money or anything unless I give it that. So I don't know why your system would flag it as suspicious activity and not the other one. And then on top of that, it's like, okay, we're going to send you an email in 24 to 48 business hours. And I'm just like, I called them on Tuesday. I still have yet to get the email. And I was like, why? You guys are fucking idiots. And I hate you. Why do you make my life so difficult? That's basically been my week.
Right on. What about you, Jordan?
I remember.
So let me tell you about my week, man.
Jesus Christ.
No!
Jordan's like, not again!
Not again! I played a little. It was mostly work. So I had my anniversary, my wedding anniversary this week. So
Congrats.
3 years, yay! And
that like Yay. Jesus.
Because it was just, it sucks having any celebration during COVID. Like, it's just like you want to go and like, let's go into a new city and stay somewhere and just be balling and just have fun and go out to eat at these restaurants and go dancing. And I'm not going to go dancing, but you know what I'm saying, right? So
At least you're honest.
He's like, I had to
COVID
dance at the
makes
wedding.
things-
I'm not doing that shit again, man.
yeah. Like, I only dance if I'm drunk. So my wife ends up ordering me doubles every time we go anywhere. But yeah, so we did end up doing a staycation, stayed at a hotel, which was middling at best. Had intermittent issues with it. So we put a card on the reservation for the hotel, and it was an older credit card that we had just we didn't remember because the account had been set up for a while. We didn't remember that the card was like it was like removed, and then we got sent another one because credit card companies will frequently do that whenever something has been exposed or whatever, right? Like a security feature for them.
Yeah.
So on our second day there, literally the night before we were leaving, we get a slip under the door saying, "Oh, there's a payment issue. Please come down and get it figured out." We're like, "Okay, whatever. We'll just figure it out when we actually check out in the morning," because it was the night before. Next day in the morning, we go down, get some breakfast, come back up to our place. Like, I have nothing on me, no wallet, nothing at all, just a room key. Can't get in. Room key doesn't work. We're locked out of our hotel room. And we had to go down and immediately change our payment, like set up for the hotel room before we could get back in the room. It's like, you guys are such assholes. Like, what if it was an emergency or something? They're just like, "Oh, your payment didn't go through, so we're just going to lock you out of your fucking room, guys. Sorry. Bunch of criminals. Get them out of here." So that just kind of pissed us off. And the sheets gave me like a rash or something like that. Not to get too personal, but there was not good sheets. It was, like I said, middling. There were very good highlights. Oh, and another thing that really pissed me off, I'm going to go rant hardcore on this one. For years, I have been trying to get a reservation and eat at this one particular restaurant. And the restaurant is in an old boat. Okay?
Oh, okay. All right. I
So-
like where it's going.
It's a cool, classy restaurant with cool, classy people and cool, classy food. So I don't belong, and I wanted to go. So I made a reservation for a place called the Boathouse.
Okay.
And just a cursory glance at the food, I'm like, "Oh, this looks like, oh, look at that. There's some fish that they have grouper. That sounds delicious. I'm going to get the grouper. Oh, fantastic. The name is Boathouse. It looks kind of upscale. It's not, this is it." We get there. We walk to where the boat is. Oh, the boat restaurant is not called Boathouse. It's called Paddlefish.
What?
The Boathouse is next to it, which is just a random fucking boathouse. And what pissed me off more than picking the wrong restaurant and reservation, because if you know anything about Disney or Disney Springs, you have to have reservations for these things in advance. And you're lucky if you get them during like windows, like actually high volume windows of activity of people and visitors. This is the second time I did this because for our 1 year anniversary, I wanted to go to the same fucking restaurant and I got the goddamn name wrong and I had forgotten about it over the last 3 years. So this is the second time that we've gone to the Boathouse, which is essentially just, I mean, you drink Old Bay there. It's one of those types of fish houses that, oh, we have our special seasoning and it's just fucking Old Bay. And it was good. But it's the second time I've done this, and I was
so angry the fact that it still was good. It was good, but fuck that place.
It was good, but I wanted, this place is like elusive now to me. Like, I swear to God, the next time I go there, it's just gonna be burning down in front of my eyes. Like, it's
like when you finally made the right reservation.
Go.
Dude, I'm gonna take you there for your birthday or something.
Jesus
just to
Christ.
get it out of your system.
Like,
it's the most petty first world. fucking problems. I understand that fully, but it's the second time my smooth brain has fucking made this mistake, and I'm 2 anniversaries so far. So I am literally
Do you recommend
0.33 right now. Joseph, I actually
I'm gonna die. Fuck.
I do recommend the boathouse, but I wanted fucking paddlefish. I was so dismayed.
Dude, I felt really bad for you when you were telling that story.
No, I'm going to Waffle House.
Until you told me that you fucked it up once before the exact same way.
Literally.
Hey,
Now I'm
And we didn't
beyond
realize it
disappointed.
until we were walking up to it. And
Oh, God.
and my wife was like, wait, the boat says paddlefish. And then the second she said that, it like I had this like sinking realization that washed over me. And
Just
all that I
dread.
could think of was fuck me.
Just right in the
Fuck
parking lot.
me.
No, not again.
So dumb.
Hey, Jordan, I'm gonna say this
So
right now,
dumb.
and Dean's gonna wholeheartedly agree with me. Like, you did some John shit right there. 100%.
Yes, you did.
You did some straight John shit. Like, that's lit. That story, that whole story is legit something I would do.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, well, thank you, because it does make me feel better that I'm not the only one that does stupid stuff like that.
I'm not
sometimes.
really shouldn't.
I was about to say, I was like, I'm a low bar. You need to clear me, man. You need to clear me.
We're talking about the man who booked the wrong ticket home from
Yep.
Vegas
Yep.
and
Definitely
didn't
did
realize it until he was in the wrong place already.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Roll
Yeah. Yep.
roll that one by me again.
This man booked tickets on a plane home
Mhm.
from Vegas to the wrong place and did not realize it was the wrong place until he had boarded the plane and flew to the wrong place.
Yeah.
How wrong was the place? Was it like one airport over, or was it like a different state?
Yeah,
Almost
John,
a
how wrong was it, man?
almost a different fucking state, bro. It was, and like the worst part is like I've done that multiple times, like
What?
multiple times. Like,
They
and I'm
have
not talking about like
dude,
in my past when
the
I was
airline
younger.
websites
No,
have gotten really good in the past
you're-
20 years.
It's not. No,
It's
and I'm
not
talking
a website
about
problem.
within the past. No, it was like. No, it was like within a year because it was while Kim was pregnant. Yeah, I flew to Vegas and I got the ticket back on the wrong day. So I had to buy a ticket that night for like $300 to get home.
So, Joseph in the chat wants to let you know, Jordan, that it's okay. Because he was once on a date and they wanted to go to a newly opened fancy Italian restaurant, which turned out to be Olive Garden. Oh shit. Also, I just want to say for the record, like, I'm on their website, bro. Paddlefish looks legit. Have you seen the food that they got at this place?
That's fucked up, Dean. You, should
You
be
don't
ashamed
need
of
to go to the
yourself.
website right now. You don't need
But-
to talk about it.
Bro, these crab legs look dank. That's, I mean, shit.
And, like-
They have king crab. I'm well aware of their menu now.
Like, no lie though, I did look up that shit too, Dean. I'm not gonna lie. About
I'm
that.
right.
I'm not. I wasn't gonna rub it in his face though, but I did look it up.
Dude. I
They have
had a
a great
morbid
menu.
curiosity. I was like, what kind of food does this place have? Jordan seems a little fanatical about, dude, this shit looks great.
Mm.
I wish I had fucked this up.
Wait,
Wait.
there's lobster
That-
corn dogs?
Dude, that
Excuse
lobster
me?
roll looks incredible.
Oh, shit,
Welcome everyone
Dean.
in chat to the one about Paddlefish restaurant.
I'm coming to
we're gonna
Florida,
talk about
Dean,
the
and we're
menu.
rolling there. We're rolling there straight up.
Yo, I'm
That's what's gonna
down,
happen.
dude.
All right.
Here's my question, Jordan, on a serious note. You had the option to go anywhere, and you opted to not go to the restaurant with unlimited crab legs.
God.
Are you talking about Cape Mays?
Yes.
Oh, it's not open. Like those like large like buffet style restaurants aren't open right now.
That makes sense.
Honestly, my number one restaurant choice that I wanted to go to was Ohana, which was an all-you-can-eat Hawaiian grill. Which
Ooh.
Ohana is knocking out of the park, 9.7 out of 10. One bite, everyone knows the rules. It's an incredible spot. I thought paddlefish would have been an equally incredible spot, and I would have gotten some delicious crab. I was even thinking maybe I'll get king crab because it was anniversary. Just go all out, right? Nope.
Sure.
I got Old Bay on my grouper. I still recommend it, Joseph, though. I still actually do recommend it. It's very good, but it is just dismaying that I've gone there twice by accident.
Fucking dressed up for that? Like, straight up. Were you, like, dressed up for that? And,
I've only ever gotten super dressed up for my wedding, so, I mean, no.
After that, it's like
wearing my nice sweater.
It's your nice sweater? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, my wife looked beautiful. She was all dressed up and stuff like that, like I just had like a nice.
And you're in a tracksuit with your nice jeans. Sweater over it.
Tracksuits a lot, man.
And like you straight up put you're wearing your I pause my game for this shirt.
I paused my. Dude,
Homeboy was wearing his Rocket League What a Save shirt.
Oh my god! If that's how I went, they would have thought she was doing some type of Make-A-Wish service for me. Like that's
how incredibly perfect would that shirt have been, though?
What a save! What a save! What a save!
Because you were supposed to save your initial fuck up going to this restaurant, and you fucked it up again. What a save,
dude!
Excellent.
We don't need to start bringing in Rocket League salt into everyday life. All right, life's already hard enough. I don't need to get what a saved IRL. Okay, I can't handle that.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, Jordan's too busy dealing with the fact that his friend just abandoned him and won a first Rocket League tournament without him, and he's still out there in the cold.
Shit,
having lost every tournament he's ever been in.
So basically, us is what you're saying. Basically, us.
Well, maybe not as bad as us because I don't know that Jordan actually does tournaments as often.
Yeah, like we almost do tournaments like every time we're available. The worst part is, I think the closest we got to beating the tournament was when we were 2v3.
Yes.
Fuck.
No. Well.
Yeah.
No. Because
you guys out there sweating a lot more than me on tournaments.
We made it to the finals that one, and our teammate choked. Remember?
Wait, no, we weren't in the finals. No. We were in the semis. That was the semis, and he choked. We never made it to the finals.
Yes, we did.
Wait, what? I did not remember this. Anyway. All right. Cool.
Not only did it take John way too long to see that, but he also couldn't say faking correctly. I love you so much.
No problem.
There's nothing you can't mispronounce.
There's nothing I can't mispronounce. Oh my god, where's my Oh,
I just saw it now.
Hoisin chili calamari sounds fantastic. That does sound fantastic. You know what doesn't sound fantastic? Let me tell you about my day for a second here.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
I woke up this morning bright and early, and I reorganized the living room. So you guys know, but like for everybody out there who hasn't seen my living room, I have like this open concept living room where like the kitchen and the living room just kind of flow into one another. And so we have a toddler running around, so we put up one of those baby gates so he can't just run into the kitchen, grab a knife, and kill himself with it.
Yeah.
And so today I decided that he's old enough, and I took down the baby gates. Now he's free roam. He can go into the kitchen and fuck shit up all he wants. Because, to be honest, he was using that toddler strength to tear down the baby gate and get in there anyway, so it's kind of a waste of time. Anyway, I did that, And then I drove out to Orlando so that we could go to this Asian market because my wife wanted to get some Japanese cheesecake and boba tea.
Oh my god,
And
they had the fluffy cheesecake there.
yeah. It's called Lottie Market. Lodi. It's Lotte.
But like
You,
it's
ch-
like
you
it's like all it's like the big fluffy giant.
they're like personal size, but yeah, that's what it is.
All right, I'm gonna Google this.
Also,
Continue.
just to further feed your hipster appetite, um, that boba tea is like really really good. You should go for the boba milk tea, all by
Joke's
itself.
on you. I don't really like boba tea.
Do it anyway. You would like it. Anyway,
Just sugar milk.
I mean, there's tea in it, so no, and tapioca.
Yeah,
Any-
there's water and Coke too. So
God damn it.
I mean that depends on whether or not you consider seltzer water water, which I don't. It's garbage water until you add syrup to it. Anyway, came back here and we sat down for our first Endless Guild book club meeting, which was nice. We had a good conversation about Supermarket by Bobby Hall, also known as Logic to those of you in the music community. And then, I did my daily workout routine and made dinner and all this shit, but I bring all this up because while we were at that Asian market, we picked up these little vanilla cream, like they look like Swiss rolls but like without the chocolate coating. And so we were like, oh yeah, this would be fucking great. So we had dinner and it's like, all right, let's just break out those Swiss roll cakes and see how this goes. And I bit into it. I was like, oh, this nice little it's like a dense cake. It's nice, got a little vanilla. Why does it taste like fish? So I took another bite of it. Dude, there's like a distinctive hint of fish in this. I'm like looking over the ingredients list. Oh, plain cake, vanilla icing, and fish paste in the middle. Perfect. I'm gonna go vomit now. This is great.
Sounds delicious.
Dude,
was it that fish taste that just tastes like you're eating a filter out of a fish tank?
Yeah. That's right.
That is the I don't know how people enjoy that. I once
I don't know
tried
either, man.
an Asian like chip or some type of snack. No, it was I think it was like a dried and dehydrated like little fish or sardine or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Mhm.
And it just tasted like you took the filter out of your fish tank and you just started sucking on it. It was the grossest thing I've ever had in my entire life. And I love fish, but that is another level. It's a different taste entirely.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I do not get it.
Ugh.
Joseph says he has a friend who hates rice.
What?
Rice just seems so ubiquitous and so universal. I've never known anyone who doesn't like rice. Like at worst, they're like, man, whatever. I'll get noodles,
Yeah, I'm a little
But
indifferent
hates
to it.
rice.
No,
Weird.
like I like white rice with my Chinese food. It cuts back on all how flavorful it is, and like you can mix it in with it.
It's
Get
the
more out of it.
texture.
It's so good,
We
so good.
we eat at
No,
Chinese
I'm
places. He always
more of a
orders
chow
chicken
mein
nuggets or
kinda
cheese
guy.
pizza off the kids menu.
What?
At those times,
At
I
those
feel
times,
like
I
a
feel like a
disappointed
disappointed father.
Listen,
Just try it,
man.
son.
As an actual father, the child eating it all is a small victory.
Fuck that! I shove the food down their throat.
Yeah, I bet
Like
you do.
that scene in what is it?
As-
V for Vendetta. Basically like that.
As not a father, I need to eat less.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't be eating for the child that you don't have. That's true.
I'm eating for two.
Oh shit.
That's terrible.
You have to cook the rice. Tillamook. Oh, you have to cook the rice.
Surprise,
Can you imagine someone
bitch.
just going face first into a bag of jasmine rice and just going, this is terrible.
This is awful. Where the did you get this rice?
You can't even chew this.
How the fuck? Why do you only have 3 rebounds?
Dean-
I hate everything.
Dean, that was your
Fantasy
day.
basketball.
How was your week?
How was my week? Well,
Mm-hmm.
pretty uneventful.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I did start playing Maneater though. You get to play as a shark who
Oh.
like eats people.
I
That's-
looked at that
and
game and I
is-
was like, should I play this? I was like,
Bro, I swear to
asked
God,
last time,
do not pull a Jordan. The games are free. You have PlayStation Plus. Redeem the shit.
I mean,
Redeem 'em.
I get it. but
Maybe you're gonna find out in like 3 years' time. Oh shit, that game was actually the tits. Too bad I have to buy it now because I'm stupid and didn't redeem it when it was free.
Oh God, was it the tits?
So, Endless Tillamook in the chat says you're going to play Deep Rock Galactic and love it. What do you think about that, Jordan?
I think you need to check your email and your Steam account.
Oh, really? My email?
That's what I think about it.
Let's look at my email.
Well, it should have emailed you, but check Steam too.
Let's see.
That's what I think about it.
I've got
while
a
you check,
purchase
can you
receipt
confirm or
from
deny?
Apple, so that's unfortunate.
Can-
The fuck is Deep Rock Galactic?
can you-
What is that?
Netflix sent me an
Dean,
email
can
about
you
3 great
confirm-
reasons to come back since I canceled that. Yahoo
Why?
News, because I don't watch Netflix. Like I'm cutting down, man. Like I have, even without Netflix, I have a subscription to Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus, Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, Crunchyroll. Like it's too much. Like I don't watch Netflix, so I just cut that now like $18
that.
bill out of my life. I
Well,
can always come
now
back.
that Netflix has dropped The Office, I'll probably cancel mine too.
Who picked it up?
Real NBC.
Peacock.
The Peacock.
Peacock, dude.
God.
Can
Is it
can
free?
we just move on?
Well, hold on. Is it free? Because Peacock's a free service, isn't it?
Yes.
So isn't that... You know what? Doesn't matter. Anyway, new graphic novels this week. What else we got here? Oh, I've received a gift. What is this?
Hot garbage. That's what that shit is.
Aww. Dear Dean, because I want to play this with you, Jojo, I'll accept that gift.
If I-
This
No,
time.
if I knew you were going to read the message out on stream, I would have said something stupider. But
I mean, you've been
Aw.
hounding him. You've been hounding him to like check it out. So
So
it honestly deserves
so-
a second purchase from me. That's how much I really do enjoy this game, and
So-
I feel that we need to give it more time.
let's circle back for a second, though, Jordan. Like, despite the fact that you gifted me this game on Steam, thank you, by the way. You want to talk about why you just gifted that game to me on Steam?
Because I want to play with you.
A little bit more specific.
Oh, okay, yes. Well, crossplay between Xbox Game Pass on Windows, mind you, and Steam is currently not available because the networking for them is built off of peer-to-peer architecture, which is not impossible, but currently not configured to support the lobbies and connections that would be required for Xbox and Steam, which is a super bummer. And we were all excited to play it, and Dean played through the tutorial and everything, and we were there ready to play, and nope, sorry.
Mind you, I didn't have Game Pass. I bought Game Pass because everybody's been hounding me to play this fucking game. only to find this out when we went to go play.
Well, you can leverage Game Pass to actually play Outer Worlds now, which is definitely something
I
that is
do need
worth
to get
it.
back to Outer Worlds. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not complaining about that. Game Pass is a great value. I'm just saying, like, that's why I got it again.
So shocked that we couldn't play together, and it feels like, because we're both on PC, it feels like there's just this thin glass layer between us communicating and playing together. We were both in the game, and we just cannot lobby up and join up, and it was so disheartening. It really was. I was so disappointed.
That shit is so wild to me. Like, it's one thing if I'm playing on PlayStation and you're on PC and we can't play together. That's one thing. But we're both on PC and they're still like, nah, dude. We virtually have the same computer, and they're still no.
Yeah.
No. That's not going to happen.
So, unrelated to this, The Office, the first 2 seasons of The Office are free, and then you have to upgrade to get every episode.
Oh, ugh.
Wait,
that's what? Awful.
Wait, it's up to season 3?
Yeah, seasons 1 and 2 are free, which those are 2 great seasons. I would say the first 5 of The Office are incredible. Then it really tapers off. But I mean, 1 and 2 are free. I'm on Peacock's website right now, which I never even thought I would navigate to this site, but that's what it says. Yeah, their premium is $5 a month, and their premium plus is $10 a month. Oh, premium plus. Okay, so their premium has ads. Their premium plus does not have ads.
Oh my god.
Asterisk. Due to streaming rights, a small amount of programming will still contain ads. So, no ads, but some ads.
Jesus Christ. Gentlemen.
So that's that. And yeah. Oh my God. 2 things really quick. The Browns are 28-0 against Pittsburgh right now.
Woo!
What the hell is going on? Bro, it is 11:20 in Q2 and they are 28-0. What bizarro world have we entered today?
As a lifelong Browns fan, I kind of want to cry a little bit.
Stupid.
Incredible. And also, after we had the major disappointment last night with Deep Rock, we did, however, play some good doubles.
Yeah, we did.
You know, once again,
we had some good matches. After I warmed up, like those first few matches were kind of rough. You don't have to.
Were rough. They were rough. Yeah.
You don't have to ice that shit cake.
Yeah, but I got back some good doubles play.
My aerials were really sloppy still all night. I don't know what was up with that, but whatever. We won some games. It's cool. For context, Joseph, the Browns haven't won anything in the postseason in like, let's see, I've been alive for 30 years. Ever. Anyway, gentlemen, we did a thing this week.
Did a thing.
I hope we did a thing. I didn't check in with you guys.
I fucking did a thing.
Well, actually, we know that Jordan did a thing 5 minutes before he was supposed to be here, which is why he was late.
At least he did the thing.
Yep. So, as always, at this point, it seems like a tradition that we're starting here. What did you gentlemen think of I Kill Giants?
Well, I was letting Jordan go since he gets interrupted by everybody. You know,
he interrupted himself.
Thank you, John. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I will go first. I will go first. So this is the second comic that we've done. Second comic that we've done on the One About podcast so far. I don't know what it is about the comic media that is able to manifest more emotion in me than like almost any other media outside of maybe music. Like, I loved this comic. Absolutely loved it. I I loved it dearly. I really, really did. And it's a beautiful story. It's very, very powerful. It had beautiful metaphors in it. Had fantastic art. Love the art style. Love the really cinematic shots that were in the large panels. Beautiful stuff. So I thoroughly enjoyed this. Is that it? Are we done?
That's it. Let's go home, guys.
Yep. Bye. Time for Rocket League. No. So I really liked the story. Like, it was super heartfelt, and like finding out what the Giants represented. Like, it was really good. Like, I was tearing up a little bit at the end. Really enjoyed the story.
A little context there for you guys.
Just beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got the Titan edition of the.
Ooh, that's nice.
It is a very nice book. It's a thick boy. They got all kinds
something
of,
I didn't realize.
They have the scripts.
Something I didn't realize until I sat down with you guys. They made a movie. I did not know that.
Yes, they did. I actually have not seen the movie yet, but it does exist. I think it's on Hulu.
Came out in 2017 with like average reviews, but I mean, I may watch it.
I don't know my Hulu login, so I can't tell you if it's on Hulu.
I'll check. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, there it is. Got it. I just wanted to fuck you up for a second.
Yep, it's on there. It's a movie. It's there.
Yep, and it doesn't even require additional subscriptions like so many things on Hulu do.
Yes, so, you are correct.
Cool. So yeah, that can be watched. So we're gonna go into emote only chat here for a few minutes.
Emote only chat.
Anyway, yeah. So I picked this one. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but whenever I pick topics all by myself, I tend to pick things that are meaningful to me in some way. This one is definitely meaningful to me. I read this book. When did this come out? In Giant Titan Edition 2010. This book came out. This version of the book, not the original series, but I picked it up on a whim when I was still working at Barnes and Noble. It came in one day and I was just like, all right, I like killing giants. She's got a cool fucking hammer on the cover. Like, let's see what this bad boy's about. And I started reading it and was immediately struck by, oh, this wasn't what I signed up for.
Exactly.
Was that your experience too, John? Is that why you said that?
Yeah, like I was like, okay, like this is a cool story. Like, she's kind of weird, and then oh shit, okay,
yeah,
all right, was not okay.
When you get to like chapter 4 or 5, like it gets really fucked up really quick.
It's real.
But I can tell you that because of my personal life experiences in the last couple of years, it definitely hit different this time. This, whew, I was not even close to emotionally ready to read this book, and it hit different.
Yeah. Like, I haven't even dealt with anything of this magnitude, really. And it's just, I was just like, wow. And the way that it was handled in the book was so well done. So I was like, holy shit. I did not expect to get the feels on that day.
So
yeah,
let's just stop beating around the bush. Like, what do you mean?
So when I was reading it, like as you said, like I think it was chapter 3, they start saying, "Oh, we should talk about this," and they like it's blacked out, and she starts freaking out. Her eyes get all wide, and she freaking slaps the psychologist who's trying to help her, and storms off. And then we find out that her mother's dying of cancer, and the giants represent the cancer trying to take her mother away, and she's fighting and killing them so that doesn't happen. And it was really powerful because like you see her living with her sister, her brother, and there's literally like no parents whatsoever. And like you honestly, the way that they set it up is like you don't question like, oh, where's their mom or anything like that. Like the mom isn't even talked about until they straight flat out say it's like your mom is sick, she is dying, and you need to address it. It just took me for a loop, honestly. I was not ready for it to be like, oh, your mother's sick, and it's like basically like your mother's on her deathbed, and that's how she's coping with it, but not really.
Coping poorly, to say the least.
Yes, yeah.
What were you gonna say, Jordan? I feel like we cut you off a little bit there, man.
That
So anyway,
I don't have
was
any,
gonna say
direct-
that.
Good
God damn.
Lord.
I'm just playing, man.
I don't have any direct experience with the types of things that Barbara went through, but they did a really good job through the narration and the actual art and the metaphors in the comic itself to really portray it. So I definitely got the feels. I was tearing up there towards the middle and end of, especially the end of chapter 7 or issue 7, as how I read it. I'm not sure if they're. I think it's separated into 7, right?
Yes.
The format that I read it. Okay. So yeah, that's the same. So 7, 6, and 7 were real heavy hitters, especially 5 going into it, as John mentioned, where they have like the censored out text bubbles in the comic itself. That really was intriguing. I loved seeing that. Her battling with a bully, battling with her own type of like emotional isolation from everybody, finding a friend, having a little mini arc of her almost losing it, a betrayal, and then a redemption, and then eventually fighting that giant, and then that scene where she's drowning and kind of falling into the water with the giant and having that dialogue is, I came here for you. Beautiful. Simply beautiful. I really, really loved it. I also love how the principal looks like All Might.
Yeah,
Totally
yes.
unintentional. And he precedes All Might, but the principal just looks like All Might. It's the first thing that I thought of.
Yeah, I can see
But
that.
no,
that and the banter between her and the principal is awesome.
Oh, so matter of factly. Like, I've been here, you know, she's so above everything else. She's just she's so I don't know if confidence the word, but she's so accepting and understanding and steadfast in who she is, what
Yeah.
she believes, and what her mission is, right? She's mission oriented. So it was good to see that. And I actually just randomly, I was looking up reviews online just to like see what other people's opinions of it are. And they're generally very positive. I found a weird review that we don't have to talk about now, but I do want to make sure that I get to sometime in this. Someone gave it a 1 out of 5.
What?
And their review just really, the review really triggered me. But you know, we'll get back to that a little bit later once we start talking about all that kind of stuff. But a very emotionally deep comic. I mean, I would recommend this to anybody. Same thing with Lost at Sea. Definitely. Lost at Sea, I would want to recommend to everybody, but I don't think everyone would appreciate Lost at Sea. This one, I think everyone can appreciate because this is a more of the emotion and the struggles here, I think, are a little more adaptable and a little more accessible for everyone. You know, like most people go through this type of loss or will at some point in their life. Lost at Sea is very specific, but still, I Kill Giants, awesome, super, super awesome.
Yeah, so it's interesting to me in a couple of ways. Like back when I originally read this 10 years ago, which is crazy to me. I took something totally different away from it because at that point I had no real frame of reference for the subject matter, and so I kind of looked at Barbara through the lens of somebody who had that same kind of like misfit childhood, and you do kind of get jaded towards everything and everyone at some point, and it was really relatable. Now granted, I never took shots at my gym teacher and called her a bull dyke, but I mean,
What? You
different strokes for
haven't?
different folks.
Come on, man.
I,
What?
I mean, sorry, I missed that bus. It's a little too
That
late
was a
now,
hard
but
hitting
hey.
line.
Yeah,
Oof.
right.
Super bold.
Woof.
Woof.
Super bold.
Was not expecting that. I had forgotten that that happened. I was like, oh shit, okay. But you kind of understand where she's coming from, and I mean, in hindsight, after finishing the story and with the full context of everything that she's going through, it makes total sense. It's interesting because Barbara is a character who's dealing with a lot. She's already a social outcast, a geek. She talks about literally hunting giants in front of everybody so they think that she's crazy or something. She has a father who's gone. She's being raised by her older sister. Her mother is dying of cancer, and she's just trying to not lose her sanity. And through that lens, I mean, you got characters like the gym teacher who snatches her purse. I'm going to call it a purse. Um, or the principal who just kind of lashes out at her because he's sick and tired of seeing the same student get sent to his office over and over again, or her homeroom teacher who gives her shit because she's reading because she doesn't want to face reality, and all this shit over and over and over and over again until she meets the psychiatrist who genuinely seems to care because, as she puts it, she gets paid whether she's happy or not, and shows up to her house and really tries to make a connection to help her and fix her situation. She's understanding when she's talking to her sister about how she gave Barbara's brother some old food, and it was she made it shitty the first time, so it couldn't have been any better the second time, and
Mm-hmm.
all these things that she's going through. But this time, and this is the first time that I've read this book in probably 5 years or something like that. This time, I look at it through the lens of somebody who just lost their mother to cancer not too long ago. And while as a grown ass man, like I couldn't do the things that she was doing in this book, like I understand the sentiment. It's such an emotionally crippling thing when your father's gone and your mother's dying. It's your last grip on that parental figure, and it's just being stolen away from you. it really is an emotionally crippling place to be. And I can only imagine what it would be like if that had happened to me when I was Barbara's age. Like, that's just, I think
It's
that
traumatic.
yeah, well, I mean, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
It's, I think that the way that Barbara is portrayed is possibly optimistic given the circumstances.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So I'm looking forward to reading the review I found.
Oh shit.
Bro, why don't you just read the review you found? Let's talk about it.
Okay. I don't know who wrote this.
Okay. Do we have a screen name?
I don't think that I can direct link to this review here. I don't think it has any type of anchor to it.
Okay.
Here, hold on. It's like on the page that I see, and now the reviews might not all be the same for every page load. I'm not sure how the site works, but it's from someone named. It's like the third one down from someone named Angela. It's a
Yep.
1-star review.
Oh.
Okay, and it states content warnings. Ableist slurs, lesbian slurs, bullying, violent responses / reactions to non-violent situations. That's how it starts with a content warning. Thanks, Angela. So, her review is Barbara is, and it's a very long review. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but it is a very thorough, well, in her mind, a thorough review. Barbara is a character that I continuously had to remind myself to not judge too harshly. I figured there had to be an explanation, and there is. I'm just not sure it's enough. She's not nice, she's abusive and mean, and there's nothing in these pages that excuses that behavior, though many people make excuses for her behavior. However, there are reasons for her actions too. It doesn't make them right, but she's an 11 or so year old child, and even adults don't always react in the best possible way to difficult circumstances. Okay, Mom, kind of a weird start to a review. She goes on to essentially say that she doesn't like how the writer portrayed Barbara's reactions to all of these events, and she wasn't reprimanded enough because of her violence and her like when she lashed out. Trying to find a quote here. If I could have wished for one thing, it would have been her getting called on her behavior a little bit more. The story dealt with her to deal. The story dealt with getting her to deal with the underlying issue, and that's definitely needed. But I think that if we don't check ourselves when we're in pain and angry, care and empathy can get away from us. It's a good lesson for our kids that might be reading this to learn. So she wasn't punished enough for suffering through her mother's death and everything else that happened in the comic. It's just such a Karen review. Not to diminish Barbara's sister Karen in this, which her sister's name is Karen, who is just doing her best. God bless her soul. And she says that too when the therapist or I guess so the school counselor talks with her. She's like, I most mornings I leave her cereal, or maybe I don't, and then I take her to school and I see her leave on the bus, or some mornings I don't. She's just doing her best. But it essentially was, yeah, Corn in the chat. You're being sad? Fuck you. Get back to school. That's what the review was. It's so disingenuous. It was incredible to read. I don't know. I wanted to talk about it because I just think I didn't think something could fly over someone's head as much as this did.
I want to actually read the second to last paragraph out from this review because I've been reading through it.
Okay.
She says, there were a couple of things beyond the violence that I mentioned above that really bothered me here. One, the comment from Barbara to her PE teacher calling the teacher a bull dyke. This book would have been much more highly rated, but that's a line I wasn't comfortable with, especially when it was never ever addressed or recriminated. Honestly, the more I think about it, the madder I get. 2, fat girl bully, in quotes. No explanation as to what she means by that. 3, I'm not like other girls. Other girls are stupid. Also in quotes for some reason. 4, the boy girl interests divide. Can we just have a book that shows it's okay to like whatever one wants to like and not disparage others for liking other things? So I've 2 problems with this. One, she's absolutely reprimanded for that comment to the PE teacher. Like, that doesn't just fly, and she's totally fine. Second of all, she's making a bunch of complaints about characters. Like, real people aren't as perfect as she seems to want these characters to be. Like, real people don't exist like that. There are real people out there that are racist. There are real people, real good, honest people who still look at the male female divide as something that should be, for lack of a better word, respected. And the most damning thing about this is that she says, can we just have a book that shows it's okay to like whatever one wants to like and not disparage others for liking other things? That's a really interesting comment given the contents of this particular review. Like you said, Jordan, this person clearly just doesn't get it, but more importantly, this person just doesn't, they don't have the ability, it seems, to look past their own personal values. And I think that's important, because like certainly some of the things that Barbara does are morally reprehensible, but to sit there and be like, well, violence is never the answer when you have a bully who's jumping her on the street, beating the shit out of her, comes at her with a weapon to literally kill her.
Like a knife.
It was an axe. No, it was an axe.
Yeah, it was
there
like
we go, an axe. Yeah,
hatchet or something. I mean, like, at what point are you like, okay, well, maybe a little violence is the answer here? Like,
I need to be able to defend myself.
It's just so weird to read this review because it almost seems intentional how much they didn't understand the material. You know, like number 3 on here was just a quote from the comic saying, "I'm not like other girls are stupid." And that was like one thing that they weren't happy that she said that Barbara said that. Okay, guess what happens at the end? Her best friend is a girl. Like, her best friend, you know, it's a story of a young, confused, traumatized, and challenged girl, you know, just trudging through life and making mistakes and learning from them. That's the whole, it's a story of growth. That's the whole point of why the author set her up to be so disconnected. You know, that's why she made a point to write that in there, because she knew that it would come full circle. And the boy girl interest divide, Dean, you commented on it. I don't understand this sentence at all. Can we just have a book that shows it's okay to like whatever one wants to like and not disparage others for liking other things? Like, isn't that what the whole, like, is she mad that it was talked about, or is she mad that, like, because I'm confused, because Barbara didn't like that was a very common theme throughout many interactions, was that Barbara was clearly not your average girl. She, you know, just quote unquote liked boy things. This was commented on multiple times throughout the different issues. So I don't get it. Are you mad that it was just talked about, that it was acknowledged, or it's way over my head? And the bull dyke thing, that's a little rough. They also dropped the hard R word, you know, retarded. They dropped that in there too. You know, probably maybe a what's the phrase that I'm looking for? A product of its times. You know, it's weird saying that about something that came out in 2008. I think is when this came out.
Well,
Yeah.
the original
But
comic
it's true.
was 2008. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it wasn't cool in 2008, but it was still being used. Trust me, I was in high school, so it's not.
No, I mean, I think that's valuable.
It's not ridiculous
though,
that someone would say. I knew girls this age when I was going through school, and they absolutely used that word. Everyone did. I'm like,
dude,
I'm not
I
going
know
to
people
support
that
it. It's
to
not
this
wasn't the cool
day
thing,
say
but
it. Like, it's not
yeah,
the thing about that is, like, it's not until very, very recently that there was like a hard, this word shouldn't be used because it's disparaging. When we were growing up, it wasn't so much disparate. Like, we weren't saying that to imply that you're like somebody who's mentally hindered. Like, it was just a word to
mm-hmm,
express what we were trying to convey, right? And, like, yeah,
mm-hmm.
things have changed, but, like, you have to context, right? I actually think to some extent it's valuable to look at things that were written or otherwise made back before those kinds of changes in culture happened, so you can understand the context from which the divide from that situation happened. Like, it's important to know why the n word can't be used whenever the fuck you feel like it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm rambling
Yeah,
into a corner
absolutely.
here, but
Yes, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. Yes.
so I think I think that this person who wrote, who's it, Angela, I think that she's totally entitled to her own opinion, but I also think that she's so in her own head about her personal values that she totally missed the point of the entire story.
Like, I really do feel like this comic would meet those values. Like I feel like that 1 out of 5 star is just the Bulldyke comment. I think that's at least 4 of those 5 stars right there. That obviously hit her the wrong way, and it's a hard word. It's a hard insult, one that I heard many times as well growing up. And I guess the author wanted to use it because it was an extremely emotional, vulnerable moment for her.
Mhm.
So she wanted to lash out as hard as possible, but she did get reprimanded for it. She went right to the principal's office. I think the line was principal's office. I know. And then the next panel is her in the principal's office.
And it's worth noting, like, you can sit there and you can read through that section and be like, well, she didn't get a harsh enough punishment for what she said. However, we're not talking about a book that's meant to teach you that calling people that name is bad. That's not the point of this. And in real life, this is what happens sometimes. Like, when you're telling a story, you don't tell it through the lens of this perfect imaginary world. You tell it with real people, real characters who do realistic things for the most part. Obviously, you can have crazy, fantastical things happening, shit, but you get my point. To sit there and be like, oh, well, she wasn't reprimanded hard enough. That's a totally valid opinion to have, but that's not necessarily a reflection on the quality of the story. That's just a choice that was made for the characters in said story. And if you can't make that division, then that's on you. That's not on the authors or the story. Now, I will say that to her point, I wouldn't give this to my children. Okay, that's totally fair. You know, like, you don't even want to put these
Mm-hmm.
kinds of words in their mouth in the first place. That's totally respectable.
Yep.
As a parent, I totally respect where you're coming from on that. I personally don't fall on that side of the line, but I totally understand it.
You can respect that choice.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Someone else said that nothing about this is well done on a technical level, but I still found it effective. The writing is okay, but there's very little payoff until the end. The art is not great and sometimes makes it hard to tell what's going on. I disagree with every sentence in
Yeah,
that.
I was going to say I disagree with every single word of that.
Yeah.
And I mean,
But I mean,
I think that's fair. Like, I understand where somebody would have that opinion.
yeah, I mean, but most comments are very positive, though. Most people do, generally really enjoy this comic and its message.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, it really is. It's another one of those those personal case studies for me that I'm not a comic guy. I enjoy comic, movies.
We're going to
and,
fix that for
just well, that's where I'm going. Like, this is another personal study into, wow, I've been really touched and really impressed by these indie comics. Really short form. This is not long. Dean, you gave me an estimate of an hour. I think I took a little over that. I was being interrupted throughout it, but it took me a little over an hour to get through all 7 issues of it. But definitely an emotional hour. Very, that was not a waste of time. I've wasted hours doing far less things, right? This podcast is one of them. I could have read it probably by the end of this recording. I could have read it 4 times. Why are we even doing this? Right?
So I want to
Joking,
say
of course,
that
I love you.
I picked this book, and to some extent, I picked what's what
The first one?
yes.
That book? That book. Literally see you turning around and pointing at your shelf.
Yeah, like what? Why can't I remember what it's called right now?
Jordan already said it too. That
know
makes
he
it a little
did.
bit worse.
That's the worst
What are
part.
you talking
dude.
about? Our first comic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Lost at Sea.
Lost
There
at
you
Sea.
go.
That's right. Thank you.
That's the one.
I picked those specifically because you're not a comic book guy. Like, I got plenty of options,
Jesus Christ.
but I picked these two because I thought
That's a
that
Yeah.
I thought that they would have the best chance of resonating with you and helping you
You nailed
to
it.
appreciate
Yeah.
the format before we go into some shit like the Joker takes over the entire DC universe.
Ooh, I'm excited for that. I read
don't-
footnotes on that, and it seemed really good.
You don't.
I just don't know if I would really get into that.
So
I don't know why. I definitely have superhero fatigue right now.
Sure.
And I don't know if comic books will be the medicine that will get me out of it, right? If that will be different enough or provide me with a different enough perspective to really appreciate them. Like, I enjoy these indie hits. I'm enjoying reading these comic books that have nothing to do with superheroes at all, and it's just a very human tale. I really love that.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, Jordan. We look over here again. Just going back up for a second. This shelf right here, this bookcase right here, those are all indies like this.
You need some WD-40 in that bitch.
Dude, I've tried to WD-40
Yeah,
this
it's a squeaky chair.
and it just doesn't.
No. Put some butter on it. Some Land O'Lakes.
I can't
Half a
reach.
stick of butter, y'all.
I can't get deep enough up in there.
You need to get in the crevasse.
But point is, I have a lot of the stages to get you from where we are now to reading Spider-Man is long. Like that road is not okay. Tomorrow we're gonna read Emperor Joker. No. That's we're going on a quest together.
A journey,
if you will.
Yes.
When during this journey do we read the Avatar comics?
Whenever you want.
Oh my god.
I think I would love those.
Jordan,
Is there a lot of
6?
expanded stories?
There really is.
There's a lot.
There's so much, dude. It's like, how many years is it between the end of Avatar and the beginning of Korra? Isn't it like 100 years?
I don't think it's quite that long.
It's a long. I mean, it's Aang's whole life plus a good amount. So I think it's around. Actually,
70
I think
years.
John's probably
70?
right.
70 years.
Close.
Yeah, 70 years.
I was 30 years off.
Yeah.
Give me the win. Give me the win. Don't be a bitch.
I'll give it to you.
Kind of
yeah,
close.
you got
I'll say you were kind of close.
You got it.
You were kind of close.
Thank God.
So let's see. Comics. There are. I said 6. There are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, shit! One more just came out, so there's 7 now. It's close. That's what you call close.
Really?
Dude, I was off by 1.
Whatever.
If you can't give me close on that one, like we're just never gonna see eye to eye.
Salt is real.
Not as real as Jordan when it comes to Rocket League. Anyway, yeah, dude. I mean, every one of the Avatar comics is about like this one. So there are individual storylines that take place after the original animated series, and they're about as long as I Kill Giants.
I would love that, actually. Definitely.
So what was we're going on a hell of a tangent here, but just
hell
for
of a
the
tangent.
yeah, but just for shits and giggles, I mean, I'm the one who has to edit it, so this is my problem. Just for shits and giggles, the first one was The Promise. So let me read you the overview of Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Promise.
Mm-hmm.
Although the 100-year war is finally over, tensions run high as 113-year-old Avatar Aang and 17-year-old Zuko are put on a collision course after the Avatar travels to a Fire Nation colony named Yu Dao and finds tension between neighbors, a threat that may shatter the world's newfound peace. The unfinished conversation between Zuko and Ozai about the whereabouts of Ursa, Zuko's long-lost mother, is completed, but the conversation takes a different path after Zuko asks the question and her fate still remains unknown. Zuko forces Aang to promise to kill him if he becomes like his father, the disposed Fire Lord Ozai. So the rest of the the rest of the context for this is a bunch of this book revolves around Fire Nation citizens who are in the Earth Kingdom and how the Earth Kingdom wants to kick them out, but they're like, bro, we've lived here for like 100 years. So this is our home too. And how Aang has to help them resolve that.
Okay.
And then the second series after The Promise is The Search, where Aang and Zuko team up to find Zuko's mother. So there's some cool shit that they do in the comics. They're very good. We can definitely do those if you would like.
Honestly, I think the only reason that I can tolerate The Legend of Korra is learning about the stuff that Aang went through before he made like Republic City, or like when he was creating the United Republic City where benders and non-benders live in, I want to say peace, but that's not really true. Like they tolerate each other, basically.
I think the idea of Korra is better than the execution. But anyway, this isn't the one about Korra or Avatar. Roll it back here for a minute. I want to ask you guys what you think about the characters in this book.
Her brother is a dick.
He's a younger brother, sure.
No. I have a younger sibling, but like
I didn't mean he's younger than her. I meant like he's a young person.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying like no. I mean I've dealt with children and just like he's just straight up an asshole. Just like
but kids can be dicks, man.
everybody agreed like she was in the right, and he still took it to 11. The older sister is basically.
It's also worth noting that like I don't think that we ever really get a lot of context for Dave's state of mind.
Yeah.
Like that happens, but for all we know, he's in kind of the same place. And I mean, based on what we do know, he is in the same place as Barbara. So like he does take it up to 11 when that wasn't really necessary. Although dick move, DM. That was a dick move for a DM to do that.
Not
For the record.
even. No.
Hey, he asked
Totally
for it. He
fine.
wanted to do some
Straight up.
dumbass shit, so he got rolled on hard.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm just saying it's kind of a dick move.
And like, no, the dice still could have spoken his favor, so it was up in the air.
Anyway,
It's just
we're not
his fault
talking
for being
about
an asshole.
the
No.
last thing this show needs is more D&D talk. We're not going down that road. I was just saying it's kind of a dick move. But the point that I wanted to make is that, you know, while he does crank it up to 11 and it's unnecessary, he's also dealing with the same kind of pain that Barbara is. So
True.
From that perspective, through that lens, you can kind of
see why he's acting that way, but like to his sister who's also going through it, that's what I have a problem.
I mean, I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that, like,
yeah.
I think that's why
I
think that's why they wrote that in there, for him to lash out so heavily, because they're not going to spend a lot of time on his mental state. They're not going to spend a lot of time developing him whatsoever. Really, that interaction in that scene is all the development that you get about her brother, all you really understand him to be. And it's enough, you know. He's lashing out violently, but he's definitely lashing out. We see him silently struggle. Obviously he's not talking about it, but he's still, he's still stricken the same way that his sister is. And kids, like, they're not empathetic. Like, they don't think, I didn't think before I lashed out or did something when I was like 10 or 11 years old and be like, how is this going to affect my sister who's also going through the same thing? I didn't think about it. I was like, fuck you, like it was so instinctual. I never thought, I didn't stop to think about, what the, what could happen after I say or do something until I was well into my teens, until I was much older than that. And I still do dumb shit without thinking about it. So I don't know what the hell my problem is, but I thought it was appropriate. And, it was pretty heavy handed, but it was still a good D&D table.
Yeah, it was giving you introspective on like why she lashes out when she does. Because like if you notice, she's very nonchalant and subversive when she gives digs at people, but when she lashes out, it's on a whole nother level. Like, it's like, holy shit. Like, if someone were to do that to me, I honestly would not know how to react. Especially, like, if I was an adult in a school, like a principal or a counselor or a teacher or anything like that, I legit would not know how to react to something like that.
It definitely escalated as they, the whole time throughout the comic, as they got deeper into what her real underlying issues were, she started to react more violently, right? She started to have more extreme reactions because they're getting closer to the root of the problem. This was evident moving into the 5th, 6th, and 7th chapter, that there was a core to all of this.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just, she was already a disenfranchised person to begin with. She was already an outcast. No one liked her. She stood up to the bully and she took a punch like a champ. A few of them like a fucking champ, but you could tell that she was just a ticking time bomb. She wasn't processing any of this in a healthy way. And it was, I don't know if there was a panel that directly mentioned who recommended she talk to a counselor. Probably the principal is what recommended she talk to the counselor, but I think the counselor eventually is what got her through this. It's forced her to face that giant eventually, right? And it was the counselor digging and digging, and we need to talk about it. We need to talk about what the real issue is. And then that's when she got slapped and she ran away. And she had that weird line. I remember the first time she
strike one. Yep.
Yeah, so that her first strike one, and then she had to make the comment. She's like, hey, "Look, it's not because you're black. It's because I don't want to, I don't want to talk to anybody about my issues."
Mm-hmm.
I guess, all right, I guess that's something someone would say if they were 11 and didn't know how the world worked. But she
was intelligent beyond her years. I'll give her that, especially the way that she
for sure
talked to people. Yeah.
It's
for sure,
awesome
yeah.
the way that they wrote her, because like you can see her intelligence, but it's all bolstered up by her lack of world experience. And that scene that you're talking about is a perfect example of that. Like, she's smart enough to think of, oh well, this person might think that I'm a racist or something and comment on it, but like doesn't have enough world experience to realize that that would never even cross her mind at all.
Yeah.
Also, to your point earlier, I believe that it's her sister that gets her involved with the school counselor, because you have that one scene where she's like off panel talking about how Barbara's getting worse and that she thinks that she could use some help.
Well,
So
okay.
I imagine that it was the sister that did it.
I
But I'm
don't
not
know.
sure.
Like, I mean, the sister just seems like she's barely holding shit together, as nearly anybody would be in her situation. So to think about, like, basically, oh, she needs counseling, or like to suggest that, is a little far fetched from what I was reading and seeing. But like, I mean, it's totally plausible. I think it's more plausible the sister would do it rather than the principal. The principal, I feel, is just like, 3 years to retirement. I just got to deal with this bullshit for this long. Like, I'm already checked out.
Yeah, the principal doesn't seem to want to get involved in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that you said that you think that it's, I forget the word they use, but unlikely that she did it because she's got all this shit going on. But like, all this shit that she has going on revolves around this entire situation. Like, her sister is crumbling around her. It makes perfect sense to me that she would do that, doesn't it?
Mm, it's not. So if she had the time or time management to basically be like, okay, I should call and get her counseling, because to me it seems like she's focused on her work, like this, like she says, is like all she does is work. She doesn't know what's going on in the world, but she's working to provide for the family because she basically has to take care of the family because parents are out of the picture for the reasons we stated before. And for her to like basically be like, oh, she needs counseling, I should probably suggest this, when she's missing, she's talking about, oh, not when she's missing, when she's out of school for, what was it, 6 days, and she's all like, oh, what are you talking about? She's on the bus. Well, I think she's on the bus. Like, sometimes most of the time I have to leave if she's on the bus, and she always eats breakfast. But I mean, I leave her breakfast, or like sometimes I just put like blah 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 in her backpack. You know what I mean? Like, she's, a lot of stuff falls through the cracks, and understandably so, because she has so much to deal with, taking care of herself, working, and her two siblings. Is that all? Or the other people that were talking at the D&D table also her siblings? I don't know if that was really touched upon, but I know for a fact that David is her brother.
Yes,
But
I believe that it's just Barbara, Karen, and Dave.
yeah.
Because the only reason that we even know his name is Dave is because the counselor mentions it at one point, and
Mm-hmm.
he only mentions Barbara, Karen, and Dave. So I
Yeah.
think that's just them three. The other
Yeah.
ones were just friends.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and like the fact that the meals that she cooked are basically leftovers that she has to like put together because she's not, again, a lot of stuff is falling through the cracks because she has to take care of everything. So I just don't think it's likely that she would have been the one to be like, she needs counseling. Honestly, I think the thing that would have probably happened that I'm imagining is the new counselor came in, basically went over all the files and saw her file and was just like, this, she looks like she definitely needs someone. Like, these look like signs that she's lashing out because she's not coping with her current situation. I feel like that would probably be more in line of what would happen because, again, the sister didn't know half of the shit that was going on with her, other than her like lashing out at school when she's told by someone else. But like stuff that's going on at home, I don't think she would have noticed enough to be like, oh, you need counseling, you're not dealing with this well. It was more of, I'm doing the best I can. I have to get up for work, so just be in bed by 15. Like, she only can see what she's coherent enough to see, other than her basically going to work and trying to give them a semblance of a childhood given the situation that they're all in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think both ideas are plausible. I put it to you this way: I think if it wasn't the sister, it was the counselor getting involved
Yeah.
herself, and
Yeah.
I think that there's support for both. Like I said before, like the sister does say off panel that Barbara needs help or whatever, which leads you to believe that maybe it was her. But then again, you also see the counselor just like scoping her out in PE, which is kind of creepy actually. But that suggests
She's
that she
really
has
dedicated to
more
her
of an
job.
involvement. Right, she's dedicated to it. She has more involvement than you would typically expect from the guidance counselor, and so it's perfectly plausible that she took it upon herself. At the end of the day, we don't know, and I don't think it really matters. But yeah. Okay, moving on. Um, um, what about the mom?
I mean, we don't get really much FaceTime with the mom. I mean, she seems very down to earth when we do meet her. Um, Even given her situation, she's very warm, kind, funny, positive attitude. But other than that, not much to glean.
I don't mean so much like the mom as a character, like who the mom is,
Mm-hmm.
more than her representation in the book and like what it means to Barbara and all that.
Um,
Hmm.
I thought there was a very telling panel where Sophia was coming to help her or to give her something or another after she accidentally hit her. And they were in her house and upstairs. And when Sophia ran away and Barbara went to follow, she saw that the door to her mother's room was open. And when you look in the door, there's this really large panel of what looked like, I think it was either just like a general like apparition or it was the giant itself. I'm not sure. I can't remember without having the panel directly in front of me. But that was pretty much the first time you saw anything about the mom, and I thought it was a really beautiful panel, and it summed up like that's her. Thank you. Oh, that one. Yes. I was thinking of another one too, but that one is equally terrifying.
What other one?
Uh,
Because that's the one that you're
I thought there
talking
was.
about.
I thought there was another one where the giant was like in the room directly as well.
Well, if you look at this panel, it's like behind her right there.
Maybe that's how I'm remembering it. But yeah, terrifying panel, like really
Mm-hmm.
terrifying. And that one as a metaphor for how she is feeling, how she sees her mother's illness, how she's coping with it, the complexity in which she is both just unable to handle it and also terrified of the situation is, I think, all captured really well in there. The mother looks like she is, being like tortured almost, being consumed by this giant. She looks in pain. She looks just totally overtaken. And it's like one of the most horrific panels in the entire in the entire series for sure. But that one really spoke a lot to me. And commenting on when she actually comes full circle after defeating the giant, seeing her mother, all she ever wanted was just to lay with her daughter. There was only one or two panels with just her and her mother just laying together. And the very end of the comic, they ask, like, the new homeroom teacher asks how everyone's summer was, and Barbara says that she just spent a lot of time with her mom. So that was, I loved that they threw that in there. Like, the whole summer could have just been contained in just doing the whole giant thing and everything, which her friend Sophia then brings up afterwards, which was pretty funny. And then you see Barbara's expression, like that anime glasses and like grin face, because she knows that she's a badass. But we see that she did overcome her fear. She spent time with her mother, thankfully, before she passed, and she took her passing really well, right? I think it showed a lot of others were really distraught. They were saddened, of course, during the wake after her mother's funeral, and she handled it like a champ. And she even said, she's like, I'm sad. I'm really sad. She's like, but we knew this was coming, and I'm glad that I spent the time that I did. I thought that was very beautiful. Yep. So
we're stronger than we think.
Yeah. I mean, really just, once again, just getting knocked out of the park by one of your recommendations. I'm thinking that this is going to be some like weird indie, giant killing or like fantasy type novel.
Ooh, I got one of those.
It kind of almost starts that way, right? Like the first few panels, you're like, all right, I think I know what I'm getting into. And then it's like, oh, we're in a classroom. Okay, where is this going? And it doesn't go anywhere where you think it's going to go. But I'm really happy for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of the characters were, compared to Barbara, a lot of the characters were pretty one-dimensional. They were just there to be the roles that they needed to be. The bully was a bully, right? There was no redemption. Well,
yeah,
that's the hell of a bully.
Vindictive. Well, bully was straight up vindictive.
She was tyrannical. Yeah, she was tyrannical. Murderous. She really was.
Fucking literally murderous.
She did. She came around at the end, right? So after Barbara put the smackdown on her and saved her from the giant, right? Then we see her kind of change her tune there in the next year. But the bully was, for all intents and purposes, just a bully. The president was just a president, or the principal. Sorry,
the
teacher was just a teacher.
President was right first time.
President. The counselor did what I would expect a counselor would do. Had a lot of patience. She gave her one. She says everyone gets one.
No, I'm going to say that counselor is, in my opinion, went above and beyond.
Oh yeah, definitely went above and beyond.
I don't
dude. After getting physically struck by a patient, most counselors would deem them too frantic or too manic to deal with. Like,
maybe for adults, but I think that it takes a special someone to be a child psychiatrist or a school counselor. Like,
I'd agree with that.
I can't speak for them. But I don't think that this is a very unique case. I think that a lot of counselors take a lot of hits emotionally and hopefully not frequently physically, but I believe it does happen, right?
No, that's what I mean.
And we don't get an idea of what kind of, like, she slapped her, right? We don't know if that was like a like she didn't sock the shit out of her, you know. Well, she didn't take a chair to her back, you know.
That slap was rough, dude. Like, I don't
Mhm.
care what happens, but like if I'm talking to like someone who is my lesser by 10 or more years and they physically accost me in any way, I would not know how to react to something like that. Especially when
like,
all
I'll
I'm
murder
doing
them.
especially all I'm doing there is helping them. Like I'm literally like, I'm here to help you, and you just slap the shit out of me. I was like,
I
it
know,
would
but
take
kids
not
don't
one
know
of those
that. They
special
don't
someones
understand
who-
it.
yeah.
John is not one of those
yeah.
special someones who
It
can.
would take
deal with
me a
kids.
couple days, not just straight up turn around. I was like, I didn't tell anybody about it. You're fine. I'm still gonna help you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would take me
like
a
John,
little bit.
It's like, John, we gave you a pass with the first two kids, but this is the third kid you've RKO'd, and we gotta let you go. I'm sorry.
They can't see me.
Can you just like back it down to a rock bottom or something? Like,
I mean, I can give him a Stone Cold Stunner, but that's all I can. I can all compromise with you on that.
okay, but no tables, ladders, and chair cage match.
You're just taking the fun out of it now.
Look, as long as you're not spearing kids, we've made progress.
Oh, dude, the best part.
As soon as they come through the door for counseling,
The best part is like Goldberg is like my favorite wrestler, like one of my favorite wrestlers. Like Goldberg, the spear and the jackhammer, dude, that's my shit. I
John
made
is ready.
a custom character of Goldberg so I could fight with him in WWF.
The spear looked like it. Like some special moves from wrestlers didn't really look like they hurt that bad. The spear looked like it was fucking terrible.
It looked like it
I mean, that's
broke
just
them
literally
in
throwing
half,
your-
dude.
Yeah, that's just straight up throwing yourself into them.
If John was this counselor and like she slaps him and shit, and like, oh, you're going nowhere. I got
Like,
you for 3 minutes of playtime.
You just straight up press a button and the door locks, and you just see a ring drop down around
Crowd,
us.
the
There's
crowd
like,
comes out of nowhere. Cage.
Cage. That random guy with the pop. Cage.
I got you for 15 minutes of school mandated playtime.
So, I just have one more thing that I wanted to bring up on my little note sheet because I did take notes for the most part.
Christ.
I kind of stopped taking notes after a while because I got so sucked into it. Oh, I'm Jordan, and we have to stop the entire show for me because I take so many fucking notes.
Don't act like you don't love it.
I do actually. What are your guys' thoughts on her hammer?
Oh, I thought it was interesting, and it kind of irked me that they didn't expound upon the significance of the hammer.
Mm.
Like, you know how I am about like loose threads, and I love lore and like, you know, the background information behind like certain objects, events, and people. And literally throughout the whole thing that I saw, I didn't see any significance to that hammer, other than the fact that it was in a satchel that she needle pointed herself. That was pretty awesome. With a basically looked like a Mjolnir on the top, on the front of it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the, like, at a very base level, I thought that's where the inspiration came from, was Mjolnir, like Norse mythology, right? Because the Titans and splitting to giants, ice giants, maybe. Like, I thought that was, because I think there's multiple levels of symbolism here, but I thought that was the highest inspiration. Like, oh, she should have a hammer because that's what, you know, that's what Mjolnir, that's what Thor had. So let's just make that happen. And then there's, I think there's deepening layers of symbolism, maybe some that are directly on it. I don't know. It reminded me of just a super throwback, but it reminded me of the Banhammer, which was a thing on 4chan like back in 2007. and like that was the
Not
like
that Jordan would know
I
anything
remember,
about 4chan, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah.
Meme God.
Yeah, don't worry. I've been out of the game for many a year, but back in high school, maybe not. But like it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. So maybe they got it from there. I don't know. Also kind of reminded me a little bit of a King DDD's hammer. That absolutely
Really?
holds no relevance whatsoever, but that's just what I thought.
Not even close. No.
No? Am I
No.
misremembering? I did not look
You
up a
are
picture of it.
totally misremembering.
I just
No.
remember. God damn it! I gotta look up a picture of it. Hold on.
You are crucifying yourself, good sir.
We'll wait.
You want to hear the revelation?
Are you still waiting?
Yeah, still waiting.
Hold on. God, I feel like I'm getting
be here
called
all
out
day.
in front of the class.
Because I'm waiting for you to realize your fuck up so I can send you an image of something that's actually accurately close.
So,
Fuck.
the only resemblance is the fact that they're both hammers.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Now, how about this one?
Oh shit.
Closer, sure.
From a little
much
game
closer.
called Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina. Megaton
Ocarina
hammer.
of Time.
I know that one.
Megaton hammer.
Yep, I used that to kill Ganon multiple times because he's a bitch.
Do you use the Megaton hammer to kill Ganon?
You can.
But why?
Because it's fun. Damn it. It's fun.
John be out here like...
Twirling it around.
So, the one thing that I really wanted to bring up with the hammer is the last time that we see said hammer. And your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah. So
how the toy form of the hammer was like sunken into the porch, right? Like broken through the wood, like it had significant weight at one moment.
Yes.
that was pretty
I loved
powerful.
It was fucking awesome.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
And it makes you think like
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, you can take the story literally, and say, "Oh, there literally is a giant. She literally got a message from it. She literally had a hammer transform, right?" Or you could just think that this was all a big metaphor, right? And they don't tell you; they never let you know. So it's scenes like that and imagery like that is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Jordan, you brought up a really good point because one of the things that I did like about the book is we understand a lot of the things that are happening is a metaphor for what she's going through, but the scene where she actually fights the Titan and all the other supporting characters in that moment make it seem like an actual Titan has just risen from the sea when it's actually a storm. But I just like the way that scene was written. I was like, wait, is there actually a Titan? Like, what the fuck is coming out of the sea? And like, you don't know that until the very end where she's been missing and they don't know if she's drowned and there's people searching for her. So it was really good because I was like, is like does she actually kill giants, or I don't know. But it made me think.
What I thought was most interesting about that whole bit was that her sister goes and picks up the little toy hammer and notices that it's caved in. So it's not like the the metaphorical giants and shit that we see before that, like that seems to literally have happened in the real world, which brings up a whole lot of questions about the story and what actually took place, which I think is cool. I think it puts a lot of weird ambiguity into this really grounded story.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of wonder about whether or not they're just being cheeky, or if it's yet another metaphor for her sister really finally coming to terms with the gravity of what her sister's been going through,
Mm-hmm.
if she actually fought a giant out there randomly, or what happened.
Yeah. And the worst part is like it's like waiting for her, like waving to her, is like, "What's up?" She's like, "Yeah, we're cool, bro. Thanks for helping me out." Sleep soundly.
I subscribe to the giants were real. That's my headcanon.
Okay.
Yeah. Although you
Well,
can take this into a very deep realm, and you could, definitely use it as symbolism for everything that was going on in her life emotionally. I'm gonna take this, just say, you know what? It was real. An ancient mythological god came and cared about her just enough to say, look, death is okay, and to
help her cope.
to fear death is to fear life. And I'm going to say Titans get a bad rep.
Other than the Teen Titans, booyah!
Yo!
Now you're ready for Emperor Joker. Oh, shit. I one last thing on the Giants before we let it go. I thought that interaction that she had where she was saying that, it's not going to get her mom and this, that, and the other, and it said back to her that it didn't come for her, it came for Barbara. Like, that was a really impactful moment for me. That one got me right here.
Honestly, I didn't start tearing up until she opened the door and she started talking to her mom. And like it really hit me. I was like, "Oh shit, like this is what everything's all about. This is what she's dealing with." And like I didn't get that line with the giant was talking about "I'm here for you." And I was like, "Wait, is she going to die?" Like no, I'm here so you can actually cope with your mother passing and realize that death is a natural part of life and you can't fight against it. But it was really, it was a tearjerker. Like I'm not an emotional person, especially when I read media, but when it hits me hard. So it was good. I really wasn't expecting it. So fuck you, Dean. But I enjoyed reading it.
The older I get, the more emotional I become.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Like the more.
Yeah.
Stop it, Dean! Just Jesus.
I meant me, you dick. It's not all about you, Jordan.
I thought you were making fun of me.
See,
no,
look,
like
emotions
just
rising.
Bitch. Everything's about Jordan.
This one is
fanning my eyes.
This one's
I don't
anger.
I don't want to cry.
It's. I think like you always feel these things, but and not everyone goes through this type of metaphor. Like this change, but like I've found that as I've gotten older, I'm allowing myself to feel it more. Where when I was younger, I very much had the mindset of I ain't no bitch. This dumb dude. Fuck this.
You don't need to
like,
feel your
emotions.
Mindset.
Yeah. For most of my life, that was my mindset. Like emotions were weak, and crying was something that only little sissy babies did. And as I get older, I realize I've been a sissy baby all along.
Oh, I could have told you that several years ago, man.
Like, you didn't need to wait this long. I got you.
You said you weren't picking on me.
I wasn't picking on you before.
No, honestly, I noticed I've been a lot more emotional and sensitive ever since I got with Kim. Like, dealing with the kids and like knowing that all of my actions, every single one of them, have consequences. Like the fact that I started bawling when I was watching Nami basically trying to cut out her tattoo, and then cry to Luffy like for help for the first time ever. Oh my god. It's weeping
That's
like
a great
little-
One Piece reference. I like that.
Dude, it was that scene is only surpassed
Boo.
by the Chopper scene on Chopper Island where Luffy's like, I'm your
All
friend.
right, ladies and
he's-
gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's that time of the show where we delve into
One Piece. What?
Jordan's notes.
I only have one note, and that's I'm never going to watch One Piece.
Fuck.
That's it.
Jordan, I'm legit gonna fly
That's
to
it.
Florida, tie you down like in the Clockwork Orange, and make you watch One Piece. Gonna do it. Tape your eyelids open.
Well, if we have
I
no
will
Jordan's
force myself
notes,
to have a heart attack. No, I didn't take notes this time. I was definitely up. I was definitely up against the clock, so I didn't have time to stop and take notes. And I really didn't want to do that because taking notes with while reading a comic book is definitely different than taking notes while watching a movie or something.
Yeah,
You have
because
to
it's like
actually
basically
stop.
Yeah, I got you.
I can't consume both at the same time. I have to stop my train of thought with the comic, type out notes and then go back to it. So I didn't take any notes, which is disappointing. But yeah, One Piece is shit for sure, and I'm not gonna watch it. And that's kind of where I think everyone should just stop watching One Piece. I think we all learned that lesson today.
Jesus Christ. All right, so Kim, I'm buying a ticket to Florida. Don't ask me why. What?
gentlemen,
Don't censor.
gentlemen, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up episode 30?
Oh,
What about
Jesus
podcast?
Christ. Has it been that many? Fuck.
Oh, 3-0,
that's a-
huh?
That's
Wow.
That's a nice
Yes,
chunk of my
sir.
life. Oh, God.
Man.
I kind of want to watch the movie to see how it compares.
I do too.
Yeah.
I kind of do too. I think I might do that this week.
Let's add it to the list.
Oh, we could do that.
Oh, wait, you want to just watch it? No, let's add it to the list. Yeah.
One Piece is definitely legend, and I can't wait until they adapt the current arc because that shit is hype as fuck. Go to hell. But yeah, I really want to see how the movie handles these emotional, impactful moments. If it's done with tact or if it's ham-fisted. Yeah.
No, looking at the reviews, I don't know if we're gonna love it, but we'll see.
I mean,
Yeah, but what's it got on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, reviews aren't that good of a litmus test that I've noticed about certain movies that you like or dislike. Like, it's more of like, do you agree with the general populace or not?
Yo, 77, it's better than Blade.
No. Is that critic score?
77's not bad.
Is that 77 critic score or audience score?
75 audience score, 77 critic score.
So
Wow.
the audience likes it less than the audience like Blade. So
Just slightly.
it's still a factual statement. So.
But I mean, by your measurement, 75 means that everybody on the planet loved it. So I think it's going to be great.
I'm just saying. I'm saying, first of all, like 78% isn't everybody on the planet, but it's still a great deal. Like, you can't go out there and say 78% isn't enough.
We're not talking about Blade again, man. It's over.
I'm not talking about Blade. I'm just talking about in general.
I agree.
Like, if I came to you and
I
said
agree with
78% of people like this restaurant, you'd probably be like, okay, I'll try this restaurant. Like, it's not just like,
I wouldn't. For the record, no, I wouldn't.
You would not try a restaurant that's 78% of people.
3 out of 10 people didn't like that place. I'm not going to that place. No, dude. That
Really?
I hold restaurants to a high standard. Like, if
Oh
I'm looking
my
for
God.
suggestions, that shit
Okay,
better be damn near
three-
universal.
What if I said that? What did this get? 77% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah.
What if I
From
said
the
that
audience. No, from the critics.
1,300 people out of 10,000 didn't like this? Is that different than 3 out of 10 for you?
Say that again?
Okay. Statistics are misleading. So 3 out of 10 sounds like a lot. But what if I said that out of 10,000, only 1.3K didn't like it? Would you be like, nah, fuck this?
1.3 thousand people?
Didn't like
Out
it,
of-
but
out
out
of
of
10,000.
10,000. I think to me, that sounds a lot better than
it just depends on
3
what
out
we're
of
talking
10.
about, man.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
guess,
Jordan's,
but like,
if we're talking about the same thing, Jordan's math is really bad on that, but that's not relevant. My point, the
How is
point
it
is, like, it
bad?
just depends on what we're talking about. Like,
but dude, like 78%, like, I'm just saying, like, most movies, especially right now, if anything over like fucking 65% for me, like, I'll give it a shot. But if it's 78%, I was like, why wouldn't I give it a shot? You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it. But you're saying 78%, that's whatever. Like, it's not that good.
I didn't say that. Like, you guys are putting words in my mouth now. I didn't say any of that.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm an idiot. It's 2.3K. My bad. 2.3. Dean was rounding down to 7. That's why I put the 1.3. I'm an idiot. But my point remains 2.3K out of 10.
It's out of 10? Jesus.
Out of 10. Yeah.
Holy shit. I'm
That's what he
definitely
gives the
not
comic
eating
book.
at that restaurant.
That's what he gives the comic book.
Oh my god, dude. Anyway, we're not talking about stupid Blade anymore.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so
How
over
about we
this.
talk about stupid Rocket League? Let's pad another hour out of here. Let's talk about Rocket League.
Let's
No,
give this bitch our final ratings, shall we?
I'm just gonna
Jordan,
call it
what
9 o'clock
would you give
for the
I
tournament.
Kill Giants?
I am going to give this one. I'm going to give this a 16 out of 4 nor'easters.
Nor'easters.
Yeah, that
John,
was
what do you give this book?
I will give it 8 Mjolnirs out of 10 with Ragnarok extra credit.
Ooh, the Ragnarok seal of approval.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to give this book a heartwarming out of 1 fantastic read. As always, before we go, remember that you can catch the show live every week on Twitch, an entire week before it goes live on all other feeds, as well as submit your questions and comments for us to read live on the show. If you're listening to this after the fact, follow us and leave a review on your service of choice. And don't forget that you can chat with us anytime in our Discord server. You can find all the relevant links below, even though I can't talk. And as always, have fun out there, guys.